Hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Bill here. Hope you're having a good day. I want to talk to you today about Glocks versus Glock clones. Specifically, we'll be talking about Shadow Systems and the Zev OZ9. Those are the ones I have the most experience with. I will briefly discuss when you might want to go with the Palmetto State Armory Dagger. I did own that gun, put a few hundred rounds to it, so I am familiar with it. But mostly, we'll be comparing when you might want a Glock, whether it's a stock Glock or to customize your Glock, versus when you might want to go with something that is already a little bit more customized, like say a Shadow Systems or a Zev OZ9. So stay tuned, let's get into it. Hey, welcome back, guys. I'm gonna start with Glock. And why might you want a Glock? When would a Glock be the most appropriate choice as a firearm? And there's really two reasons. Number one, if you're looking for something cheap, yet reliable, right? You just want a cheap $500 gun is what a typical Glock is, but you want something that's cheap, reliable. You don't plan on shooting much. A Glock is going to be your best choice over a Glock clone. And I say that, unfortunately, everybody's got a different choice. So I'm trying to give you guys some options for those of you that are interested in purchasing one, but you're not really sure what to get. Or maybe you have one and you're thinking about getting the other. A Glock is a $500 firearm, not in the way you see it right here, but it's a $500 gun that you can get for $400 used. You can get them for, a little over $600 if you want the MOS, or some models. They have some models that have better iron sights, that sort of thing. But your basic non-MOS Glock is $500 with cheap plastic sights that most people are going to want to replace. But if you don't plan on shooting much, a Glock is gonna fire every single time you put ammo in it. It's gonna fire. And that's what most people buy it for. They buy it because they don't plan on shooting it much, but they know that when they do, it's gonna fire. And that is exactly why most people buy a Glock. That is where the Palmetto State Armory Dagger would also be a good option for people that maybe know they don't like the Glock angle and they're looking for something that is reliable, has that same kind of ease of maintenance, ease of use. That's where $300 base price for a dagger is a good option. I'm talking about the compacts or the full sizes. All right, but or even I guess the micro daggers are coming out now too. But from what I can see, what I've seen, they're hard to find. So anyway, Palmetto State makes a dagger. They are cheaper than most your Glocks, though you can get really nice models as well. But most people buy Glocks because they know they're going to fire. They don't plan on shooting them much. And, most people keep the plastic sights on them because you're not putting a lot of rounds through them. I would recommend putting better sights on them, but I understand that most people are buying it for that one emergency where they have to defend themselves or their home. And I get it, and that is a good option. Glock is most certainly the best firearm, in my opinion, for that role. The second reason you would want a Glock is if you are looking for a blank canvas. The Glock is, in my opinion, one of the best blank canvases that you can create the firearm that you plan on shooting. And that's because there's such a vast aftermarket support for Glock. So as you can see in this 17, I've got stippling. I've got the slide done from, this is a Mac Defense Mac 17 with a CAD work, extended and raised slide stop slide release. This one was cut with the irons forward for an RMR. All right, it has got a double undercut, as you can see here. I don't have a magwell on this one, but because I just don't care for magwells, but there are tons of options for magwells. I mean, the aftermarket for Glock is vast. And so if you want a gun that you want to, stipple or put whatever you want on there, whether it's a grip tape or silicone carbide, you've got a really high support hand grip and you want to get that aftermarket slide stop slide release, you want to get a double undercut with some stippling at the bottom. All right, this is a really good option, or even to run your irons forward. There's not a lot of companies that offer that, right? So this is a very good option for those of you that are wanting to start with a blank canvas and create the gun that you want, that's going to be fun to put hundreds and thousands of rounds through. We know Glock is dependable. We know even when we're messing with the triggers, as long as I'm just switching out the trigger shoe, which this is a aftermarket trigger from tactical pontoon, which he works with OEM parts, you're not going to be affecting reliability. And so, as you can see here with this one, I've switched out just the trigger shoe on this one. And this gun, thousands of rounds later, is still firing just as reliable as it was when I took it out of the box. You're going to get very good customer support with Glock. All right. The awesome thing about Glock is that they are very supportive of shooters. They provide armorers courses for law enforcement, military. They have other courses. They have the Blue Label program. They have the Glock Sports Shooting Foundation for people that want to come and compete in pistol competitions. So they've got a lot of really good things that they provide. And that's, what people like about Glock. Now, what if you don't want a Glock? What if maybe you don't like the grip angle or you don't like the Glock platform, but you are wanting to get something that is very similar, still has that very reliable platform, very easy to use and maintain? That's where you're going to want to go with something like a Shadow Systems. Here is the DR920. These come standard with some stippling on the frame. They come standard with a double undercut, a nicer trigger and trigger shoe. You can see that the slides, they have many different makes and models. This one is the DR920, the Elite. They have a Combat that doesn't have the windows, but a very similar slide with very good serrations. And then they have the Foundation, which is kind of their cheaper base. All right, but even these come with their really good slide cuts, the double undercut, the stippling on the frame. They have this beaver tail has been removed, but they have a much longer beaver tail. And the awesome thing, what I like about Shadow Systems, and this is where I would recommend for those people that don't like the Glock grip angle, or, I do, so I have the Glock grip angle on mine because that's one of the options, but you can get a different grip angle. You can get a 1911, you can get a more natural grip angle. It comes with 3 different grip angles for you to kind of figure out which one you like, mess around with them, or if you want the 1911, there's that option, right? So Shadow Systems is kind of that stock Glock that most people get, and then they want to upgrade it. This is that upgraded gun right out of the box. So that's what's awesome about it. Also, what I really like about Shadow Systems is they have the best optic mounting system. All right, so you mount directly to the slide. This one has a bit of a filler for the EPS, but you can see on this one that it's mounted directly to the slide. All right, they have, in my opinion, the best mounting system. Now, because they had to move some internal parts, the slide has a little bit of a different internals than your factory Glocks, still not that hard to work on. Also, they have fantastic customer support. And if you are wanting parts or accessories for this gun, you can buy them directly from their website. So that's really, really cool about Shadow Systems. Their guns fit in the same Glock holster. So this would fit in a Glock 17 size holster or Glock 34 size holster. Or if you're running it with a light in the Glock equivalent holster for that light. So that's really, really cool. I just can't say enough good things about Shadow Systems. Fantastic American-made company, or, make their products right here in America, in Texas. If you are interested in their products, check them out. I have other videos on them as well. The last gun that I want to talk to you about is one that I'm relatively new to, but I'm going to go ahead and say that this one is the flattest shooting of the 3. This gun right here is just absolutely awesome. It's also the most expensive, but this gun right out of the box has all the upgrades that I want from my Glocks. It's got good texturing right here on the frame. It's got the double undercut. It's got a fantastic trigger, obviously better than the stock Glock, but also better than the stock Shadow Systems. And then the really cool thing, you can see good slide work right here, but the really cool thing about them is they have a fire control unit and it's metal. And I assume that's why it's the flattest shooting, why it shoots flatter than a Glock or a Shadow Systems, which already shoot pretty flat. But this one shoots the flattest, and I'm assuming it's because of the extra added weight of the fire control unit. They come standard with a RMR cut, which is a really good cut, but I will go ahead and caution you against this. They have what is known as the Zev posts. And so if you're running an optic that is RMR cut, you need to check and confirm that it will fit on the Zev cut slides, because the posts have a different thread pitch than some of the optics. So for example, if you wanted to run the RCR, those will not fit because of the Zev posts. So you'll need to check with your optic. I know I was wanting to run the EPS on this, but the adapter plate that I was planning on getting from C&H would not work with the Zev posts. So you'll want to check that. Make sure if you are running not an RMR, or even if it is an RMR footprint, that the adapter plate that you're getting for it, or the optic that you're planning on putting on it, works with the Zev posts. All right, this gun also comes with very good factory irons. You can see that's a tritium front and rear, and they glow very, very dark, or excuse me, they glow very bright in the dark. All right, so you can't tell here because it's lit, but they are very, very bright. Guys, this gun is awesome. Awesome magazine release and a really good slide stop slide release. I use a very high support hand. My support hand comes up here almost along the slide, and I've had no issues because this slide stop slide release is kind of recessed in there. Let me see if I can get that on here. So because it's recessed in this frame, or this grip module, because it's recessed in there, I've had no issues with the slide locking back on the last round. That has not been a problem for me. So if you're looking for a gun that you can run straight from the box, this one is the most expensive, but it also, in my opinion, has the best features. It has a fire control unit that you can switch out between grip modules. So if you want a full size, a compact, the version 2s, you can go full size and compact. It's just a really, really nice option for people that are wanting to run different frames. It has been my experience that I don't really do that very much, and I know other people, don't either. But if that's something that you're looking for, they have that option. Also, this gun fits in most Glock holsters. I say most because the ones that I use for the gun only were very tight. But as you can see here, it does fit in this Tentacore Malice sole with no problem whatsoever, based on the X300. So again, guys, this is the most expensive, but in my opinion, it is the one that comes with the most features out of the box. Very, very awesome gun. You can buy the parts directly from the website. I highly recommend this platform for people that are interested, have the money that they're willing to spend. I think it is worth the extra money, unless you want a stock Glock that you're going to put a lot of money into getting it to run the way that you want it to. Otherwise, this is probably the way to go, because it comes stock with all the features that I like, or most people like, straight from the box. Guys, I hope this was informative. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions for me, leave them in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.